Okay, so welcome to Python and the Django web development. So later on, you will be creating your web application using Python and the Django. Okay, so we've already discussed what is Python. So for the web development, you can use the Django, Pyramid, and Flask. But in our subject, I will teach you on how to use the Django. And Python is also used for scientific and numeric computing, desktop GUIs, and for the software development also. By the way, later on during your finals, you will be developing a software using Python and Python and Tkinter. So for the Python patterns, we have two patterns. You can use the model view controller or the model view template. But in my demonstration, I'll be using the model view template. Present, sir. I'll be checking your attendance later on. Okay, so for the MVC, the MVC pattern was created to separate the business logic from representation. So we have the view model, and we have the controller. But we'll be using the MVT or the model view templates. So the model view templates is a software design pattern. It is a collection of three important components, which is the model view and template. Okay. So for example, we have the user, and then we have the computer. For the Django, you have the URLs or the path, and then we have the views, models, and template. Later on in my demonstration, I will show you what is view, model, and template. Okay, so how to install the Python? We've already installed the Python, and then in addition, we'll be using the pip later on, and then also the Django, and later on you will be creating this application, portfolio application, using the Django. Okay, so now let me open a Sublime, hindi pala, Visual Studio Code. Okay. Oh, by the way, I forgot, our module is already posted in our Google Classroom group 1, group 2. Yan. Yan. Okay. But in our module, I used command prompt. But anyway, same lang naman. So you can use command prompt or Visual Studio Code. But in my video demonstration today, I'll be using the Visual Studio Code. There. So let's open terminal. There. And so for example, in our drive C, let's create a directory. So the command is mkdir, make directory, example the Django. And then we have to go to our directory, cd, change directory, the Django. Okay, so let me open our folder. So what we did is, in our drive C, and in our drive C, we created a folder named Django. Ito yun, yung mkdir make directory. Okay, nagugutom ako nagutom. Okay, so anyway, yan, so we created the Django. Now let's create a project. So gagawa na tayo ng project ngayon. So the command for creating a project, okay. Ay, by the way, we have to install first the Django. So the command is python -m pip install Django. But in my case, in my unit, the Django is already installed. Okay, yeah. Then let's skip that. Then let's create a new project. So the command is the Django admin start project, then for example new project. So that's the name of our project, new project. Okay. Then let's try to open the folder. Drive C, the Django new project, select folder. So once we create this application, this project, so this files is already created. Yeah, setting py urls and so on. Py files. Now let's open the terminal. Okay, now that we created the project, let's try to run our project. So the command is python manage.py, then run server. Yeah. So next is, let's try to open this one. I don't right click. Copy and then open browser, then the address, default address is 127.0.0.1, then port 8000. So this is working. Okay. So the install worked successfully, congratulations. Then next, let's go back to our Visual Studio Code. Okay, so now that we created and run the project, let's try to create now an application. So if you notice, I didn't stop the server. To stop our server, just press Control C, and then now we will create an application. So for example, python manage py. So this is the command, start up. For example, hello world. So if you notice, in our directory, it created these files. So auto-generated siya. Okay, so that is the name of our application. For example, hello world. Next, once we created this application, you have to state that in our setting. Under the new project, we have the settings.py, because we created a new application. So here, installed application or installed apps, you have to add the new application, hello world, there, then semicolon, comma, save, make sure same spelling, hello world, next. And in our hello world, we have the views.py. Okay, so here we have to create a definition. So for example, hello world, a definition that will request to return and render the hello world.html. So the hello world.html is for our graphical user interface or user interface. So we will be creating this one later on. Okay, save. And then now we will create this one, but first we have to create inside the hello world directory or folder. We have to create a new folder, and then the name of that folder is templates. And then inside the template you have to create a file. Should be hello world.html, this one. Okay. Then for example, you can use HTML tags. Yeah. Okay. And then once we created this template, hello world, in our new project URLs, you have to add the path. Okay, we will create a path. So for example, empty, and then include hello world dot URLs. Okay, yeah. So this one we have to import the include function or method in our import. Include. Okay, tama ba? So any function or method that we use in our program, you have to import that in here. So take note that the method or function is already made programs. Gawa na siya na program. So you need to import that one. Okay? Save. Next is in our hello world, we need to include, because if you notice here in this application, new app project, project, in our URLs, it will go to our directory hello world, or the application hello world, and then inside the hello world it will look for the URLs. Okay, so here we need to create a new file, urls.py. Next, in our urls.py, we will create a URL pattern. patterns, path, double quote, views that hello world, then name same hello world. Okay. Then again, uh, we use this function or method, so we have to import. So from the Django, the Django.urls, import path, then from hello world application, import views. There you go. And then save. Okay, so let me discuss again. We created this application hello world, then inside the hello world, because we created this application, don't forget to put that in our setting.py inside the new project. Yan, kasi gumawa tayo ng bagong application, you need to state it here. Okay, and then next is in our hello world application, we have the views.py. We created a definition that will request and render and redirect to hello world.html. So this is our hello world.html. So we created template for that one. Yan. Okay. Dito, this is the path and this one. So again, once our project run and it will go first in our settings.py. We installed the new application hello world, then next is in our URLs, you need to include this path. Okay, so include URL hello world. In our hello world we have the URLs, this one. Okay, what else? Yeah, and then next is in our URLs. Here in our URLs, we included the path that it will look for the views inside our hello world. So this is our views.py and the name hello world, because that is our definition, hello world. Okay, and then for that it will open this one, hello world.html. So that is inside our templates, this one. So let's see, let's try to run our project. So python manage.py run server. Run server, python manage.py run server. Okay, and then let's go back to our in our browser, then refresh. What will happen? Hello world. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to our Visual Studio Code, and then URLs. So here we have two paths. We have the admin and then the blank one. So for example, let's try to put home in our path, home, and then if you notice, I didn't stop our server. So if I edit or change or modify the code, okay lang, and then it will automatically compile and debug your code and then run the server if in case that we don't have any error. But if in case now we have an error kasi, for example that one, and then save, Yan. It will not allow your project to run. Save. Yan. So running, so meaning we don't have any syntax error. Then let's open our browser. Yan. So naglagay tayo dun kanina. We have home. So here, so if we click refresh, page not found. But we do have home. Meron tayong home. Okay. Let's try it. Another name for the path. So for example, welcome. Welcome. Save. So that is our path. Welcome. So let's open our browser. So again, we don't have any path for the home. So include page not found, but we do have the path for the welcome. Yeah. Okay. And then if you notice in our code, we have here the admin, and we have the admin. This is auto generated. Once we created this application, automatic na siya. The admin already created. So here in our output, you can put the admin. Yeah, we have the username and then the password. By the way, class, once we run the server, I forgot to mention. So once you run the server, it will automatically create this one, the database. The marketplace has extension can be helped with the SQLite 3. Okay, so let's see market. SQLite install, and then also the viewer. Let's see. By the way, this is the database. Okay, this is the database. So we install that here in our extension. So again, I'm using the Visual Studio Code. So in our extension, you can include the SQLite for the command, and we have the SQLite viewer so that you can see the content of our database. So we have 0 tables, we don't have any tables yet, and so on the like. Okay. Next. So let's go back here. Again, we created this application, and then we put that in here, the new application that we installed, we created, and then we created a path. Then next, after creating a path, in our urls.py, views.py, we need to create a definition kasi in here, by the way, because in our urls.py we have the pattern. In our hello world application, we have a views.py, this one, and we created definition that will redirect to this file, hello world.html, and that is inside our templates. Okay, so how about let's try to create another application. Gawa tayo ng bagong application. Command. So the command is So Python manage py start application sample na lang. Sample. So automatic, this is created. Then next is once we create this application, you have to go back to your project, and then in your settings you have to include the new application sample. Okay. Then after that, in our urls.py inside our new project, we have to create a directory or path for sample. Okay. Then next is we have the urls. So in our sample, if you notice, we don't have any urls file here, so we need to create a new file, urls.py inside our application sample. Yeah. Okay, next. In our urls.py, we will create a URL pattern. So URL patterns, then include the path, views that hello sample, then same name, yeah. Okay, and then again you have to import, so from the Django that urls import path, and also from sample application import views, import there. Then save. So here in our sample we have the views here, so meaning in our views.py we have to create a definition. So definition sample, then request return render request, for example this one .html. Yan. Then save. So now we will create this file. So inside this application we need to create another folder for templates. Then inside our template we need to create this file .html, then the HTML command. Sample web page. Okay, so again in our URLs, yan, we have a path sample. Then let's try. So python manage.py run server. So we don't have any error. Let's check our output. So we have welcome path, hello world, and we have also the sample web page. Okay, and what else? Okay, so that's all.